Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08 and welcome to the 34th episode of my second 1 billion iron ingot challenge. In today's episode, I'm going to be working at my NuclearCraft 2 base, which is right here where I'm at, and I'm going to be doing several things. The first of which is I am going to reprocess the spent fuel that I have from my nuclear reactors over here. Now, in between episodes, I have added some more nuclear reactors, but they are literally the same as the ones that I built on camera last time, so I didn't figure I needed to do that again. If we come up here, once again, I'm wearing my hazmat suit. I have a lot of spent fuel over here, 1,120 of these fuel rods. So I can do something with these. What I can do is I can reprocess them in a thermal centrifuge. So let's just drop down here and let's get started. So I'm going to put the centrifuge, I think, right here. So I need some power conduit underneath, so I'm just going to tear this up and I'm going to see how I need to run this. Now actually it might be easier to run it from over here. Yeah, very much looks like that's the case. So let's go ahead and do that. So actually I need to go ahead and put this down first because just like last time, I don't want to have any of my machines explode, so let's go ahead and put in transformer upgrades. I'm going to put in 4 overclocker upgrades. I may lower that by 1. I'm not sure if I actually need that many. But anyways, so we're going to have an export bus right here. Let's put in 1 capacity card and some acceleration cards. And I did the capacity card because in the future I will have other fuel types that I will also reprocess here. So yeah, just as a for the future type thing. Capacity card there, and then I will have an import bus here. I should mention that between episodes I put all my storage buses on positive priority, and that's because when I start importing things from the centrifuge right here, it will be producing some uranium-238, and I want that to travel and to float into here, and then the plutonium will float into a black hole unit that I will be setting up here in just a second. So my black hole unit will be for the plutonium. I'm going to have a storage bus on this, and I'm going to set it to positive, actually not positive priority just yet. I'm going to do negative for right now, and then I'm going to grab some orange cable here and I'm going to hook all this up. So now that I have all the upgrades in here, I can also hook this up to power, and that won't be a problem at all. So let's actually dig that out, and then we can just run the power cable from over here. Okay, so sweet. Everything looks like it's working. I also want to put an inverter upgrade. That way it is always, the thermal centrifuge is always kept hot. So if I can spell inverter upgrade, let's get one of those. And let's get rid of some cobblestone that I have that I don't need. And then let's also clean things up a little bit. So there's my inverter upgrade. This should keep the thermal centrifuge hot at all times, which is nice. Especially since it's a machine that will be running on and off. So yeah, this will produce some plutonium, and let me actually pull up the fuel recipe here. We will be doing this recipe right here. So I will be getting some pulverized iron, which I will need to deal with at some point. I don't think I'm going to do anything with it today. It's just going to import into the system, and that's all fine and good. But the pile of plutonium I need to do something with. I need to make more fuel rods. So let's grab a crafter. And actually, first off, I want to get rid of this. And now I want to grab... Actually, you know what? Let's not make those dual mox rods yet, because I need to make, for what I'm going to do later on in this episode, I need to make some quad fuel rods. So they are made in a recipe like this or this. I'm going to be using this recipe up here. So I need to grab a crafter. And I have one right here. I don't know if there's anything in it quite yet. So let me plunk this down. Okay, there is nothing in it. So what I'm going to need for this is I'm going to need... actually, I need a compactor, which I have. And let me see where I could put this. I can put this right here, actually. This will be a good spot for this compactor. And Okay, so let me see how many channels I have on this strip. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have enough channels to do that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a compactor here. I'm going to import from the top side. I'm going to output to the right. This will be for copper plates because I don't have any way to make copper plates down here. I am going to export copper plates, or copper ingots rather, into this, and they will become copper plates. I didn't hook up the power. That was dumb. So let me grab some flux duct to hook up the power. And that'll be rather easy. Boom. So now that that has power, once it starts getting the copper, which may be a little bit, I can just throw that stack in there. So let me grab some modular storage for this. And I think this already has a storage. Yes, it does. So I need to grab orange cable along with a storage bus. And I actually have them with me. Derp. So this will be set to what's already in there, and then positive 100. So that should be nice. And then over here, I need to export several things. I need to export these regular fuel rods. I need to export copper plates, and then I also need to export iron plates. So let's set up this, and once again I need to have certain slots remember to hold certain items, that way I don't accidentally run out of certain items. And then if I remember right, the pattern is something like this. Yes, it is. Perfect. So that's going to be making some quad fuel rods for me. Up here, and I should have done this first, is let me grab one of each of these because I need to set this up to export. Okay, so I need one capacity card, some acceleration cards, and then I can do these 3 items, and then that should kick all of the items into here automatically, which is obviously what I want. And then let's have these items, let's have them flow into, okay, let me see how many channels I have off this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I can't do anything off that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can do something off this. So I'll have my storage bus right here, but back behind I'm actually going to do a little plumbing. I'm going to grab some item conduit, and that will be to carry items to a modular storage unit, which will house the quad fuel rods. Okay, cool. It does have a storage module in it already. I'm going to need to tear this out. This needs to be extract always on. This needs to be insert. Cool. Now I have some quad fuel rods to play with. And that will be necessary for the next step. Actually, I need to set up a storage bus first. Okay, that's cool. So do we have some plutonium? We should have some plutonium. Let me grab this real quick. And then this will be set to plutonium. Tiny piles of plutonium, that is. And then we can set that at a positive priority. And then all of the plutonium should flow into here. There we go. So I will be using that in the future. Not quite this episode, though. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some new nukes, or some new nuclear reactors, and they are actually in here. So what I've done off camera so far is I've set down nuclear reactors, and they are right here. They have 2 reactor chambers each. They are attached to glass fiber cable, and they are plumbed exactly like the reactors over here. They are next to impulse item ducts with redstone relays, and that is hooked up to a switch right here. As of right now, there is nothing in these nuclear reactors. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and set these bad boys up. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting quad fuel rods into them. Actually, I need to configure that real fast. And I should have plenty of quad fuel rods already because I had a bunch of these regular fuel rods. The only thing that I really needed to make is the copper plates. I already have all the iron plates in the system. The only thing we're waiting on is copper plates. So I already have plenty of quad fuel rods. Now I'm going to set these up quite differently than the reactors over there. And what I'm going to do is for each of these reactors is I'm going to have, actually I need to grab all these back, because what I want to do is I want to set this up to always keep 64 of these quad fuel rods, because this is how I'm going to refuel them. Okay, now we can put the fuel rods in here. And each of the reactors is going to be filled with fuel rods like this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to fill up all of the reactors like this, and once I have that done, I will be right back. Now that I have fuel in all of the reactors, I need to figure out a way to keep them cool. I actually have already figured that out. I'm going to use LZH condensators. Now what these do are, actually let's click on and let's look at the recipe real fast. I'm going to need a lot of these, and I actually already have them made. But anyways, they are in a recipe like this. Lapis, RSH coolers, which are made like this. Heat exchanger, heat vent, some redstone. And then we need 2 of those for each of the LCH condensators. The reactor heat exchangers made like that. And the reactor heat vents made like that. I think I've made most everything else. I've made the heat vents on camera before, and I may or may not have made the heat exchangers, but they are in a recipe like that. But anyways, I have a bunch of those ready, and I have them right here, so let's go ahead and put those in the reactors. And basically these will go in between all of the fuel rods, so I need to make sure to get them everywhere in there, otherwise I will have a bad time and I will have an explosion, which is obviously not ideal. So after I get all these in, I need to set a machine on top of the reactor. And I'm trying to be super cautious that I don't miss any of these. Okay, so that should be good. So we can get rid of the remainder of those. And we actually need the reactor coolant injector for the LZH. So we need to grab these, and we're also going to need a wrench. And I have caps lock on. And let's go back, wrench, and I have a few of these. Let's just grab 3 of them. And what I need to do is, the LZH condensator actually has different sides here. I need this special side, the side with this, oh my goodness, the side with the square here. I need that to be faced down. So I can actually do that. Whoops. I thought that would break in a different way. Let me... Okay, so I believe that's actually pointed down by default. Let me do this one. It should be, yes, it should be. Because, yeah, I don't see the special side anywhere. So, okay, so that's cool. I definitely do need to make sure that it's actually faced the right way, but I believe it is. Okay, so I've done the math on these reactors, and they should produce something like 1,160 or EU per tick, I believe. So if we notice here, the reactor coolant injectors, I have 3 of them left, they are power tier 2. Unfortunately, the reactors themselves make far, far too high a voltage for these coolant injectors to actually use themselves, and they do need power. And unfortunately, they don't take transformer upgrades for whatever reason. So what I need to do is grab some transformers, and I have them made up. I actually need to step down the power 3 times, I believe. Actually, no, I should be able to just do it twice. That's cool. I thought I would need the EV transformer, but I am pretty sure that I do not. So what I need to do for this is I need to set down a transformer like that. I need to hold left shift and then right click, and that puts the five dotted side down. I need to right click it and set it to fixed step down. Actually, this isn't going to work super well. Okay, I'm going to do it how I originally planned, because I think that'll work better. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my glass fiber cable, and I'm going to need more of it than just that. So let me grab more, and I'm actually going to run it up to the top here. Then I'm going to run it over. Okay, so we're going to need transformer and transformer, I believe. So we just need to run this glass fiber cable across like that, and then like this over here. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to grab the HV transformer, and that'll need to be flipped around. Actually, it'd be easier if I did that. So shift click again, fixed step down, and then I need to, actually it'd be really nice to be able to fly right here, because it might be easier to set down the MV transformer first. Let me see if that's true. Yes, it definitely would be. And I need to also do that to fixed step down. So let me see here. Okay, so that should be set to the, yeah, that'll be easier. So now what I need to do is I need to set HV transformers up here all along this glass fiber cable, and then I need to have the MV transformers underneath, and I need to have the 5 dotted sides on the bottom for each of them. No, I need it on the top. Yeah, I'm confusing myself. Need it on the top, like that. And now, yeah, okay, so I need the 5 dotted side on the top for all of these transformers, and I need to place a bunch of them down. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, because it's going to take a little while, and once I have all the transformers placed, I will be right back. Okay, so I have all of the transformers placed, and they are all properly configured. The next thing I need to do is I need to get Lapis into the reactor coolant injectors. So and they need to be Lapis blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some impulse item ducts, and that's where I'm going to start here. I need to also grab some sort of storage device. So I'm going to go with modular storage again, and I also will need a servo. So let me grab one of those. And then I will also need a crafter. And that might be just about all. So let's go ahead and set up this impulse item duct. I will need to do some wrenching here, but that is okay. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to wrench away the connections to the reactor itself, because I do not want this line connected to the reactor in any way, shape, or form. It just needs to be connected to the transformer, or not the transformers, but the reactor coolant injectors. Okay, so that should be good. And then I need to find a place for this crafter. So I think what I'm going to do is let's just go ahead and put it, right here. And then we can also do the modular storage, and we can do that. Actually, I don't super even need this. Yeah, I'm not even going to do the storage. I can just craft the lapis into lapis blocks here, and this can be my buffer. This little storage right there. So that should be good. So let me grab some lapis. And I will need power to this thing, but that shouldn't be a problem. We can do export lapis with acceleration cards. The recipe, just simply lapis blocks. Hit apply. And then let's go down here. I do need to connect it to my main system, not to my other system. So let's dig a hole in the wall here. And let's grab enemy conduit. Actually, shoot, I have it right here. Totally forgot about that. Oh, that's the wrong conduit though, because that's for the orange system. I need it not to be for the orange system. So actually, I need to be a little bit careful. Actually, I don't need to be super careful. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just disconnect that there. And then I will run this right here. With one more ME conduit right here. Once again, I need to disconnect that. Actually, no, I don't need to do that quite yet. You know what? Let's just get rid of this for right now. And then I think I can just run this over like that. Okay, that should be good. Should start getting Lapis in here shortly. And for the power, that shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to run some Ender energy conduits, and we can run it. We can actually use this block space. And run it right down here. And actually, I might need an energy cell or something. It looks like it will. So let me grab an energy cell. Let's just go ahead and use this one. It's here. So we'll just input from the top, output to the left. It should be always active. And we can grab some facades and spiff this up a little bit. Okay, cool. So I should have the Lapis. Let's see here. Do I have? Yes, I have Lapis blocks. So I actually need to get that over here, and I can just do that with this item duct. And I need to get rid of that. Now I can put this servo on. And I want this to be, you know what, I want it to be random. And I want it to be always on. Okay, let me see. Okay, it is going somewhere. I'm just not sure where. I kind of want all of them to have at least a little Lapis before I test the system. Okay, so let's not get rid of stuff just quite yet. Let's see here. This is not even fair. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just, like I said, I want to make sure that I have some Lapis everywhere before I test this out. Because these things will be producing quite a bit of heat, and I just want to make sure that we're not going to have issues. I don't want this exploding. Okay, so they all have Lapis. Let's go ahead and turn these bad boys on. Nothing exploded, so that's good. The reactor coolant injectors seem to be getting the power, so that's cool. That seems to be working. What I need to do now is I need to watch for these LCH condensators to go down in durability. Now what's going to happen is I think these are going to fall to somewhere between 20 and 15,000, and then they should be repaired by the Lapis that is in the coolant injectors here, the reactor coolant injectors. So what I'm going to do, and I can do this mostly off camera because it's just waiting, is I'm going to wait for this to get down, and once it's around the 25,000 mark, I will be right back to show you if the coolant injectors actually work. So yeah, I'll be right back in a couple minutes. Okay, here we are. Looks like the LCH condensators are getting toward the point to where they will need repaired. So let's take a look real fast. Right now they are at 22,600, at least the most damaged ones are, and we have a full, almost a full cache of Lapis blocks in the condensators at this point, or the reactor coolant injectors rather. And so let's take a look. These things should be being repaired any point now. I wouldn't say it's at 15,000. So let's see here. Yes, fantastic. So one thing to mention is that this system will use quite a bit of Lapis, but by using the condensators rather than heat vents, we can make a lot more power. For example, these reactors are doing 1680 EU per tick, whereas the reactors over there are doing 120 EU per tick. Now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to shut this off because right now the power is not going anywhere, so I mean it's just kind of wasted. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build a system that will use all of this power, and that will be a scrap factory. How I build a scrap factory is with recyclers. So let's grab some recyclers. Recyclers are pretty easy to make. It's just dirt, a compressor, little glowstone, and iron ingots here. I have a bunch of those made up. And what the recycler does is it takes pretty much any item and it turns it into scrap. So like I said, pretty much any item, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be dumping a bunch of cobblestone into these recyclers. So first off, I need to dig out a trench and put down a bunch of cobblestone generators. And they're just going to be in a line back here, and that'll work fantastically. So I do have the highest tier dense cobblestone generator from the mod NuclearCraft. These things will produce 128 cobblestone per second. So essentially I can have my recyclers very highly tuned to use quite a bit of cobblestone, and I will still have cobblestone left over. There's pretty much no way I can use the amount of cobblestone that those generators can actually make. So as we see, the cobblestone is already in the recyclers. Now what I need to do is, let's get rid of the recyclers and the cobblestone generators and some of this other stuff that I don't really need. And I need to grab a bunch of upgrades. So first off, I need to grab transformer upgrades. Let's grab 2 stacks of those. Let's grab some overclocker upgrades, and I want to grab, I'm probably going to need more than that, but that's okay for right now. And then some energy upgrades. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this for all of the recyclers, is I'm going to put in 4 transformer upgrades. I'm going to start out with, let's see here. So this would be 109 times. The recycler is actually not very energy intensive at all. I believe it's 1 EU per tick. We have a lot of reactors upstairs, so let's actually see if we can't do 12. So this will be 281 EU per recycler, and we can actually do even more than that. But for right now, let's start off with 12 for each of these, and then we'll do 10 energy storage upgrades as well. Because since we're using so much power, we want the buffer of the machines to have a good buffer, because if we have no upgrades, the buffer is only 326 EU. The thing is using 281 EU per tick, so it quickly runs out of power, and sometimes it kind of like blinks on and off. But with the energy storage upgrades, it won't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up all the recyclers to have these upgrades in them like this. And once I have that done, I will be right back. Now that all of the recyclers are configured correctly, we need to actually just hook them up to power. So I'm just going to run some glass fiber cable like this, and I have the power line poking through from above. So let's just run it down like that for right now. And you know what? Let's go ahead and turn those reactors on. If I have everything done right, nothing should explode or anything, and we should start getting scrap very quickly. Okay, we do have a bunch of scrap. So the next thing I'm going to do is we actually need to get the scrap out of the recyclers, and we can already see their buffers are full, or at least some of them. So what we need to do is we need to get the scrap out of here, and we actually need to make scrap boxes. Now this step is actually not completely necessary. I could just export this scrap directly into the matter fabricators and it would work fine. But if you have scrap boxes, which are made in a recipe like this, it tends to work a little better because scrap is consumed so quickly by the matter fabricators. If you just export it directly, sometimes into the matter fabricator, that is, sometimes the buffer runs out because it's used so quickly that you just can't replenish it quick enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send all the scrap to a crafter, and we're going to craft that into scrap boxes, and then we're just going to send the scrap boxes over to the matter fabricators. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to grab some more item duct, or not item duct, but item conduit. Let's grab a bunch of that, and as well as I'm going to grab some speed upgrades once I have some of this done. And that's because we are going to be dealing with such large numbers that I'm going to need some speed upgrades on these things. So actually, you know what? I'm going to try no speed upgrades for right now. I know for a fact that my crafters will need them though. So right now I'm gonna get 2 crafters. I may need more, I'm not sure. And these 2 crafters they will both be making the scrap boxes. And let's go ahead and place those here and here. In the middle, I'm gonna have a black hole storage unit, or a black hole unit for the completed scrap boxes. And actually it's easier if I just type in a hole. And that'll be here. So what I'm going to do is, let's set this to be insert on brown, and extract on blue. Let's go ahead and do speed upgrades on that. You know what? Let's also do this because I have a feeling that I'm going to need the throughput of multiple extraction points. So these are all extract on green. And let's actually run these up to the top here. And then we can run this over. And then down like this. And then we can do in on green and extract on brown. And I will probably need speed upgrades on these as well. So insert on green, extract on brown. Okay, so we're getting scrap in these. Fantastic. I need to get them power, so let's punch through the wall here. And I think I'm going to need an energy cell again. Let's go ahead and just put the conduit, the energy conduit down here. Actually, I'm going to need more of it. And I don't have any. Let's also grab an energy cell. And I will probably want to upgrade that as well. So let me grab a conversion kit. Come on. There we go. And we can just place this, say right here. So let's slap on the conversion kit to upgrade it, and then just output to the left here. And where is my conduit? Wrong conduit. So then I can just run this down like that. Now these things have power. Let's go ahead and set up the recipes. Really simple recipe here. There we go. And then this one. And I don't need to hit remember or anything, and that's because there's only one item in here, so it can't get crowded out by anything but itself. So let's go ahead and do some facades here. Okay, so in addition, I'm going to actually take this item conduit, and I'm actually going to run it over into this building because I've changed my mind. I'm not actually going to use this export bus here. So I'm just going to item duct them over. Item duct the scrap boxes, that is. So I don't need that. I will need a lot of item conduit though, and I don't seem to have enough. Okay, let's go ahead, and this will need to be in on blue, I believe. So let's take a quick note how fast the progress is going. It's not real fast at all. In a little bit, it'll be quite a bit faster once we hook up the scrap boxes. So blue again, in on blue, out on nothing. Let's travel down here. You know what, let's just go ahead and run this like this. I know it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. It's not like I'm gonna live down here or anything, so yeah, whatever. Cool. So now I just need to kind of figure out a place to run this through. And you know what, right here might be a good point. And I don't have any. Do I have more facades? Of course they're not painted. The facades I have aren't painted. You know what? Whatever. I'll fix it later. It's just going to be like this. And we're just going to run this over, and I need to disconnect that. And I can't fly. Whoops. You know what? Let's just run it across like this. Okay, let's go up here and see if we have scrap boxes in here, because we should. Fantastic. Look how much faster that is. So essentially, I believe to make one UU matter or one millibucket of UU matter, normally it takes 1 million EU. I believe with the scrap boxes it takes 166,666, probably 0.66 repeating. But anyways, it requires 1/6 of the amount of energy now. So what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to clean all of this up, and I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera because I need to go and I need to grab some stuff like some facades, and once I have all of that done I will be right back. Okay, so I have everything cleaned up and I believe this is a pretty good wrapping up point. So in today's episode I built this monstrosity that is awesome nuclear reactors. They are filled with quad fuel rods and LZH condensators, which keep them cool. They produce a nice toasty 1,680 EU per reactor, and there are 17 of them. And right here I have the Lapis system that creates the Lapis blocks that provides the nuclear reactors with Lapis so that they don't blow up. And I have transformers up here that I also put in that I needed, so that I could give power to the reactor coolant injectors without them exploding. And then down here I made a scrap factory, and this thing seems to be operating quite nicely. It is producing a lot of scrap. I already have 3,400 and counting scrap right here, or scrap boxes rather. As of right now I have 13,300,000 iron ingots. With this system up and running, I should be able to get a decent amount of iron ore from this system over here, because those scrap boxes are really nice to have for the matter fabricators. And I'm pretty excited because in the future I will be upgrading this building as well. So anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation in modded Minecraft, such as this monstrosity right here, definitely consider subscribing to my channel because that's kind of what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.